Just mention. No. It's fine.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I just want to mention to you, Hazrat Sahab, while I would try to transfer myself with the Lataif, I was lost my track and I couldn't go all the way through, with you brothers. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Sit down and see one of the teachers.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I wasn't able to concentrate much during the Muraqba session. However, prior to that, if I can relate that to yourself.
Prior meaning?
Before, during the Maghrib Salah. From there.
Okay, yes please.
So during the Lataif process, I was here with yourself. Before Maghrib Salah, while we were doing the Lataif process, we were on the journey. I believe it was in Morocco. We were in the streets of Morocco, and we were going towards the Mazar of Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabar. While we were at the Mazar, standing before the Mazar, I saw light, nur, coming towards the Mazar Sharif, and then light coming towards yourself. I also saw light coming out from there to different parts of the country, the world, and so on, to different individuals. But the light going to yourself was much stronger than the others. We entered, we gave a salam, and I managed to give them a hug, and they entered us into the Mazar Sharif. We sat down. It was like a garden. We went inside, and it was Azan time. We went through this garden, and we ended up to this masjid made out of what I believe was nur. There we sat and we prayed, and people that was fasting, there was dates and drink that was given out to them as well. And we stayed. I managed to stay for the whole salah in this place. During the Muraqba session, it was going from here to there. We went to Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabar and then Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani place, the Mazar to this. From there, I imagined myself was falling into the pit of hellfire. I asked for help, and they were looking down at me, but they couldn't help me. I said to myself that the times of Mashayikh holding my hand.
So who was looking down upon you?
Yourself, Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani, Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabar. I said to myself that the times of Mashayikh holding my hand is gone. It is now time for myself to be strong and stand up. I asked for forgiveness, and I started doing the dhikr. And I was doing the dhikr, the fire on me started to disappear. And then I was brought up. We then continued the journey from there to the Rosa Mubarak of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We prayed Salam there. And then from there we went to Masjid Al-Aqsa, then we went to the Kaaba Sharif. From the Kaaba we ascended, and I was shown a glimpse of Karbala. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was there and they were weeping. And one of the things I remember them saying was they were weeping because of the pain that their grandsons had to go through, even though they were granted success. But because of the pain that they went through in this life, they were crying for that. The scene then went on to a garden, and we were joined by Imam Hassan and Hussein Raditlan, and they were having iftar. And they made a dua, something along the line of...
Remember that you are not talking to yourself, you are talking to people. You know, you mentioned speak in such a way that others can hear well, clearly.
So we sat around the table during the iftar time, and they were making a dua, and the dua was along the lines of how they wish they had a little bit more time to save others, to help others. And that is as far as I can remember.
Okay, mashallah, barakallah fi. So one important message which actually in your vision is very clear, that the awliya Allah, the teachers, mashayikh, anbiya alayhimus salam, if it was their duty to, in any form or way, to take people to Jannah, they would have done, and no one would have ended up in hellfire. Now their duty is to convey and guide, that's why people will ending up in hellfire. It's not to take them forcefully there. So one should know, one should always strike this balance, that where your role start and where their role start. Their role is of guidance and leading the way and helping you to remove anything in between. Their role is not to take you as such, meaning, and if you do not actually follow, if you do not execute your role. So that's why you were shown that just being with them, you can still fall into hellfire unless you do whatever you have to do. Because there's something which you have to do, is that your action and thing. It's like you can give people something to eat, but they have to eat themselves. So they give people spiritual food and all this, but actually then their role ends there. Their role ends there, and your role begins there. So if a person will do his role, then as you have seen coming up over the fire of hell actually going away, meaning azab going away. So that's how one should be in this world. As I said, that if it was duty of them to take people, then no one would have ended in hellfire. This means this was not their duty. Their duty was to iblag. Iblag means to convey the message, to help them, guide them, be with them, and actually remove any obstacles which people face. So one should always actually know that, and know your role. Don't rely upon, for example, your mother to actually that she will sleep again instead of you. Her sleep will not make you sufficient. Your fathers, your teachers, their sleep is for them. Your sleep is for, they can provide you, mother can provide you a food and a bed, that's it. And maybe sing a song for you, but not more than that. You have to sleep your own sleep. So one should know what the role of Anbiya alayhimus salam and Rusul, and also the awliya Allah is. This is the. Secondly, you've seen the wish of the awliya Allah, even in Barzakh, and Sayyidina Imam Hussein and others, and other pious people, that in spite of going into Barzakh, they still wishes that they had more time so that they could save more people, they could advise more people, they could guide more people, they could help more people. So even though they have gone to the other side, but still their wish is this. It's like a shaheed whose wish is also to give his life in the way of Allah. Why was he shaheed? Was to conveying the message. And that's how they became shaheed. That's why they actually gave their lives. So Anbiya as well and Awliya Allah as well. So if their desire is such, this means that at least whilst we are here in this face of the earth, it should be that we also do our duty and convey the message, so that not because of the lack of conveyance that someone suffers, because then we will be responsible in one way or the other. And everyone knows their ability, how many days a week they can give, how many months a year they can give, how much time they can give. People have time for a lot of time for example, they say, oh, I don't have time for so much, but they spend hours and hours on, for example, playing their hobbies, or actually on Facebook or anything like this. They find time there. So once everyone knows how much wealth they have, how much time they have, and how much they can give. So they should be giving in that. For example, you have come on Thursday Majlis. Others, some people cannot attend this. Normal people, for example. So this is for you. Monday Majlis is for other people. You are the facilitator. That's what dawah means. Actually conveying the message. So your coming there is not success. But you are bringing people 5, 10, 15, 20, as much as one can. That whole week is for you to actually encourage people, to remind people, to take them, to visit them, etc. So that actually, that you actually on that day, it's not you going, it's you are taking. You are not the goer that day, you are the taker really. If you go only, you are still failure, because actually this is not the role of it. This is, because you come for yourself, this is for your role. But that day is for others. So ये दावा का ये मतलब है, ये इस्लाह है अपनी, that actually your own conviction and iman actually being refined and harnessed and actually enhanced, and then other parties there. Then your is local majlis which you have, for example, in your locality, for example, to attend, to actually invite, to do your role, whatever you have been assigned, etc., etc. तो ये चीज़ें हैं. तो माशाअल्लाह तो अल्लाह पाक मुबारक करे, that especially those people like you who have witnessed now their responsibility then goes much higher. They can't sit like other people, doing things. They have to be 24-hour active. If their bodies are not active, their mind should be active thinking. Heart should be active thinking of these things, that how one can, because everyone has limited time. The time is, the countdown has already begun. So any time it goes, and the dilemma is that this is such that one does not get this time. Even awliya Allah, they want to come into this world, they desire to come, they are not allowed physically to manifest them. But spiritually, as you see, many even are coming and helping and guiding, like Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabagh and all these Sahaba and Anbiya, if a person spiritually. So they can do from that point of view. Jazakallah. Thank you. MashaAllah. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I couldn't really transfer because I don't think I was comfortable. I was sitting on the floor, my knees were hurting, so I'm not sure
Okay.
if that was the issue. Yeah, I think so.
It can be if your knees are hurting, and meaning as we always say that sit comfortably, practice to sit comfortably, in other days and or otherwise sit on the chair. ठीक
I wasn't here.
Any other new brother?
No, no, sir, no, sir, no.
If not, anybody else who wants to mention anything, they can.
Hassab, please may I seek permission to...
Yes, please, proceed.
Hassab, during the Muraqba, after I transferred, I met yourself in the Mazar of Sayyidina Abdulaziz the Bag, and they were sat there and we gave salam and transferred to Sayyidina Abu Hassan Shazli, and then to Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jilani rahimahullah. And I sat between them and between yourself and the Mashayikh, and Noor came from each of the hearts and it surrounded me from the heart, and I connected, and I found myself in Karbala. I saw many people slaughtered and blood were flowing along the ground. After this I could see Sayyidina Hussein radiallahu anhu before they were about to be martyred, and I could see the army surrounding them. Then the vision changed and I sat before Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu, and they were angry, and they said, those of you who are doing the work of my Ahmad are with me, and the rest of you are with Yazid. Then they gave me a sword, and the vision changed to Hassab and myself going towards the enemy on horses and swords in our hands. And then the vision changed again to me, stood behind Hassab, traveling to different countries, spreading the message of Deen, and the swords turned into iPads and technology. Then the vision changed back to me when I was sat with the Mashayikh, and they were angry, and Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jilani and Sayyidina Abu Hassan Shazli, they both got up whilst they were angry, and they left, and the vision ended there.
Okay. The message is quite clear that there are two camps of, one is of Shaitan, one is of Rahman subhanahu wa ta'ala. One is of Sayyidina Imam Hussein alayhi salam radiyallahu anhu, and one is of Yazid and evil people. So if you are not in one of them, then you are helping the others, really. So one should be very, very careful, and the Mashayikh, they are not happy that we are with the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you having the sword and traveling, then at least seeing that we are traveling the world, that means in today's time, what mission of Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu means is to pass his message. That's exactly what he did. He traveled to another country to convey the message, to preserve the message, because people were getting a corrupted message. So he wanted to give them the true message of Islam, what really Islam, that what Yazid is doing is not real Islam, it's a fake one. This is what is my grandfather's actually concept of Islam was. So he traveled to other countries. So as you have seen in the vision, and in those times there are swords, these times technology, iPads, presentation, knowledge, these takes the place of sword. Knowledge is sword. And through this, you actually convey the same. People have many misconceptions about Islam. They have wrong view of Islam, non-Muslims, Muslims, and many are not practicing. They don't know how to practice. So it has been given to you a message that actually you should also come part and parcel of the Husseini mission. And because it's time is, as I said, going very, very fast. We are going towards death and our final meeting. So, alhamdulillah, we might as well do not something but everything which is in our capability, then we will be satisfied, we will be happy and pleased that what we have actually done. Otherwise, as you have seen in the other brother's vision, that no one can really help you after that. It's a matter of great concern.
Anybody else want to mention anything?
ठीक है, जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह रब्बिल आलमीन वस्सलामु अला रसूलिल्लाह व अला आलिहि व सहबिहि अजमईन। या रब्बल आलमीन या अरहमर राहिमीन, enable us to truly, sincerely worship you and serve you, although we can never worship you as you deserve to be worshipped, but enable us to best of our ability to do that. Enable us sincerely and wholeheartedly love and follow the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, our beloved Sayyidina Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and enable us to, according to our abilities, our wealth and time, which you have, knowledge which you have given us, to convey this Muhammadan and Husseini mission to whole mankind, and enable us to establish peace in our hearts, minds, families, countries and whole of the world. Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Bless us with the goodness of this world and here. Bless the kuffar with the iman. Bless the sinners with tawbah and repentance. Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Whoever is in any problem spiritually, any sin, any act which is taking them away from you, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, enable us to abandon all these evils. Whoever is in any physical, any social, any financial problem, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, remove their difficulties, give shifa to all the people who are sick and ill. And whoever is dying during this night, their time has come up, enable them to die with iman, and us as well. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, enable us to benefit from this blessed night of Friday and the day of Friday. Forgive us, our parents, and all the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Give barakah in our iman and our amal and our families and livelihoods. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyil ummi wa ala alihi wa sallam. Jazakumullah khairan. Shukriya.